Peace, peace, peace. What it is. All right. One thing you hear me say in some of my videos is, you are God, right? You are Jesus. You are Satan. You are Yah. You are Elohim. You are, I don't know, Zeus. Fucking, I don't know, Peter Pan. And everything in mythology is all based on the human mind. Okay, y'all need to understand that. Now, so you heard Bobby Hemmett and others say you are God. The black man is God. Now, this book will explain it to you. Quantum physics. It will explain to you scientifically, I should say, how you are God. This doesn't just apply to the so-called black man. This is a human being. Okay. So go get this book. It's called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbert. All right. Now, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. The cosmos as a hologram. All right. Basically, everything in reality is fake, or a hologram, if you will. Now, how do we know this? Let's go into the science. On this book, page 33. Yeah, 33. All right, check it out. If you remember the video I just put up about the movie Dogma, in the beginning he's making a reference to Alice in the Wonderland. I'm going to start there just so you can catch that reference. It seems more like a land ruled by sorcery than an extension of the natural world. He's talking about the world of quantum physics. And Alice in the Wonderland realm, in which mystifying forces were the norm and everything logical, had been turned on its ear. All right, now check it out. We're getting to the science. One startling discovery made by quantum physics was that if you break matter down into its smaller and smaller pieces, you will eventually reach a point where those pieces, electrons, protons, and so on, no longer possess the traits of an object. For example, most of us tend to think of an electron as a tiny spear, a BB whizzing around, but nothing can be further from the truth. Although an electron can sometimes behave as if it's a compact particle, physicists have found that it literally possesses no dimension. This is very important. Listen, this is difficult for us to imagine because everything in our own level of existence possesses dimension. And yet, if you try to measure the width of an electron, you will discover it is an impossible task. An electron is simply not an object as we know it. Okay? Now, electrons is proton, neutron, electron make up the atom. Okay? So this is atoms make up everything in reality. Okay, so we're talking about the electron of the atom. So we're talking about everything in reality. Listen, another discovery physicists made is that an electron can manifest as either a particle or a wave. If you shoot an electron at the screen of a television that's been turned off, a tiny point of light will appear when it strikes the fluorescent chemicals that coat the glass. The single point of impact the electron leaves on the screen clearly reveals a particle-like side of its nature. But this is not the only form of the electron can assume. It can also dissolve into a blurry cloud of energy and behave as if it were spread out over space. When an electron manifests as a wave, it can do things no particle can. And if fired at the barrier in which two slits have been cut, it can go through both slits simultaneously. When wave-like electrons collide with each other, they can even create interference patterns. Check this. Listen. The electron, like the shapeshifter out of folklore, can manifest as either particle or a wave. The shapeshifter out of folklore, the Naga serpent. Huh? Y'all know the serpent, right? The shapeshifter. Huh? You don't you get it? The chameleon-like ability is common to all subatomic particles. It is also common to all things once thought to manifest exclusively as waves. Light, gamma rays, radio waves, X-rays can all change from waves to particles and back again. Today's physicists believe that the subatomic phenomenon should not be classified solely as either waves or particle, but as a single category of something that has always somehow both. These things are called quanta. and physicists believe that they are the basic stuff in which our entire verse is made. Okay, y'all understand what they're saying? Hold on. Let me give you one. Hold on. Perhaps. All right, here we go. Yeah, keep going. Here we go. Perhaps the most astonishing of all is that there is compelling evidence that the only time quanta ever manifests as particles is when we are looking at them. Oh my God. Are y'all listening? Perhaps the most astonishing of all is that there is compelling evidence that the only time quanta ever manifests as particles is when we are looking at them. For instance, when an electron isn't being looked at, experimental findings suggest that it is always a wave. Physicists are able to draw this conclusion because they have devised clever strategies for deducing how electrons behave when it's not being observed. It should be noted that this is the only interpretation of evidence and is not the conclusion of all physics. As we will see, Bohm himself has a different interpretation. It's another physicist who looks at it differently. But ultimately, the wave doesn't manifest as a particle until it's being observed, meaning that you as a human being, right, you have the power to turn what is not physical into the physical with your observation. Now, is that not God? Think about it. Is that not God? Basically, the physical reality only exists because you acknowledge it. So let's give you the science. When a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? No, because sound is only qualified by a human being. See? Therefore, the human being is God. Get it? Peace.